Morning, Emmitsburg. Here we are on the low side of 10 o'clock in the morning on the 21st, Wednesday, a beautiful day here in the neighborhood in Perfectville. I have my guest here, Tim May, and he is the chaplain for the volunteer firemen of Frederick County. Um, he, I just want you to tell us what you've done here. You're very familiar with Emmitsburg. You worked up here for many years.
Yeah,
didn't
that
you?
was lucky, Don. I was well before I went to the National Fire Academy to teach. I was a state fire marshal,
Okay.
so I was up in Emmitsburg, and of course, very involved with the fire service up here in the local fire company. And that was before the years that the fire academy came, and then I was chosen to go teach at the National Academy. And I was there for a little over a decade, I think, and then went on to bigger and brighter things. From there, just moving straight on up.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, how long have you been the chaplain for this service?
This is we going as far as the chaplain for the entire Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association, probably going on about 10 years now.
Wow.
Always serves as a chaplain at some of the fire companies, which I still do as their independent chaplain. Like I'm chaplain of the United Fire Company, the Independent Hose Company, but I'm chaplain for the entire volunteer fire service also. And we have chaplains, try to have chaplains in each department. And then I just serve as the overall chaplain.
Wow. Now I'm going to jump around a little bit, but you were really a specialist in arsenic, weren't you?
Yep, that was my specialty was arson and explosives, and I was trained by the state and as far as a bomb technician and things like that, as well as a fire investigator, and that's what drew me to the academy. And they recognized that it wouldn't cost much to have me, so they hired me and away from the state, and I really had a great time traveling the world, doing fire investigations for some other governments, some of our government work, and I've always enjoyed that. And to this day, I still do some private work in fire investigation and explosives. So I still have fun. Yeah.
All right.
But I don't have to deal with it anymore. I don't have to touch bombs anymore. I hope.
I was a couple of years ago in Alaska, and I saw a patch on a fireman.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over and talked to him, and he knew where Emmitsburg was, but he wasn't really he didn't know anything about Frederick County, or maybe it was in Maryland. But it's really a unique town in a sense, isn't it?
Amen. Yeah. Emmitsburg is a place that that I've always admired because it's two things. It's a modern town, but it's old town tradition. I mean, if you go downtown, you're like going back in time, but you come up, and it has the modern conveniences, everything. It's a great place. What we try to do when we get students in, and I had thousands of students, literally thousands, I guess, over those times. We would try to get them into the county. The Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Museum is located here now, and that draws hundreds, if not thousands, of visitors each year. They come into the museum, they get to see the history. Maryland, of course, is one of the beginning states in the country, and one of the greatest fire services in the country. In fact, we have the oldest volunteer fire company, the Independent Hose Company in the state of Maryland, located right here in Frederick County.
Wow.
And that's back by 1818, as I remember. It was a cold day that day, but we have a lot of history, and it's so much to know about Frederick County. And of course, you said at the top of us, you're right up here, not too far from Camp David, I've been told. We don't really know where that is,
No.
but we've always enjoyed coming to Emmitsburg. And Emmitsburg's known worldwide. I was overseas, and they knew the National Academy, which was at Emmitsburg. So that's cool. So you have that. That's honor that we had to fight for years ago, and most people may not remember how the fire academy got here, but it was a struggle between the state of Maryland and the state of Virginia, who wanted to have this. Department of Commerce was creating this, as I remember, and we won. This was St. Joseph's College, and it closed down, and there was a great deal to be had as far as financial to be made, and we won, and never looked back.
Wow.
And we were together, a couple of weeks ago on September 11th. That's the first I've been on campus in many years. And as much as it's changed, it stayed the same.
It was good to be back over there for that. And that day of 9/11, it was a Sunday morning, and again, formally at 8:46
Yeah.
when the first plane hit
The first tower. Yeah.
and had students and staff, and Reverend May gave the a little talk.
Little homily, little invocation. You know, preachers just like to talk. You give them the microphone, look out. They're going to give you something. And yeah, it was an honor. I've had the privilege to do many 9/11s, unfortunately, because of 9/11. But it was very moving because you had over 200 or 300 students there from all over the country, and in the chapel at the National Fire Academy.
Right.
And it's such a beautiful setting, and I thought it was a very respectful. It has to be a respectful service.
Right.
Man, if the weather cooperated, we'd have had it outside at the National Memorial, but it was good. It really was.
Right. To tell me about the your badge and your two pins.
All the
They're
pigment-
red.
Well,
Is
they
that-
they indicate everything on the any uniform, any insignia has a meaning. Whether it be the badge or whether it be your office, whether it be time of service, these little
I was going to ask you
these-
about those.
these little beautiful stars that represents 52 years of being old. But these are your years of service in the fire service.
Right.
And then the collar pins indicate what company you're serving at the particular time. So everything, it looks like any police uniform or any uniform. The insignias of military, and it all comes from the military. So that's how you can recognize someone. You don't even have to know their name, but you know what they do or how long they've done it.
So red is chaplain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has although chaplaincy, we service any religion,
Okay.
but I'm a Protestant pastor, so I do Protestant things, but I've had to call into service for any type of person wanting religious consultation. We call it spiritual needs or whatever, and we can handle that. We're trained in that in seminary and training. You learn how to minister to all people,
Right.
regardless of their faith.
Okay.
So that works out good.
Okay. You're a member of Rotary. Tell me, and I know you've been quite some time, but
112 years, I think, Don. I think you were there when I started back in the old days. Yeah, Rotary's still going on in Frederick. We now have, I think, 4 clubs
right.
because they just created a new club. Rotary goes well in Frederick. And being around Frederick, of course, you're a member of so many organizations. I serve also in another uniform as the chaplain of the Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
So that's another honor that I have. And then so many service organizations that we're tuned into, whether it be the Elks Club or the American Legion, and active. I try to stay active as many as I can. So it goes along. And Rotary has always been a service above self. And when you have a motto like that, why wouldn't you be in Rotary?
Absolutely.
That's good.
That's true.
And we enjoyed having you. There's always room to come back in.
I know.
This is the mayor of Emmitsburg. He thinks he's busy.
No, it's wonderful. But you have have a church and that is in southern.
Well, I'm in southern Frederick County, basically between Middletown and Burkittsville. I'm over in the country. It's a small country church, the Church of the Brethren. It's 245 years old, and I've been at that parish for 21 years. I'm in my 21st year there, and so it's been a good journey, and I'm having fun. I'm going to work till I'm old, so I've got plenty of time to go.
Right.
I've decided old age is about 140.
Well, somebody asked me the other day when I was going to retire, and I said, "Well, I think I'm fully vested in my retirement program when I'm 132."
132. That's old. I think people pick these nebulous numbers of old ages of 60, 70, 80, 91. No. Pick a number that's realistic. 130. I like that. Anything less than that, you're young. And I think that's what makes you. I've known Don for decades and decades and decades, and you haven't aged as much. You still have that same positive attitude. So now I don't know why the people of Emmitsburg elected you. That's between them and you. but I think they're blessed. I really do.
I'm sorry, there's a little.
I know the mic went off, didn't it?
No, there's a delay here.
Yeah.
We don't have that. No, don't.
Unfiltered.
Is there anything else you like? I want to get back finally. The final question is will be about how important this weekend coming up on the 8th, 9th, Fallen Firefighters Foundation Memorial Weekend. But is anything else you like to tell anybody in Emmitsburg about you grew up here.
Mhm. Well,
It's in your marrow.
yeah, it is in my marrow. I, first of all, Emmitsburg is a double blessing. You bless so many people and you don't even know it because they just travel from around the world to be here in Emmitsburg. And when they meet you there, that's a blessing. But as you bless their lives, they also bless you, because that's the important thing that I think people forget, is how important they are in other people's lives. One of the stories I tell in church is that you may not want to go to church one Sunday, and because you don't need it, but I can tell you, you need to go to church that Sunday because somebody may need you. When the National Firefighters, the memorial which comes up, and I had to hand in the first organizations of those, and we organized them on a string budget, and we did it by the seat of our pants. Has now become just a perfect run memorial for those firefighters who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And there's Frederick names up there as you'll find. And we were able to fly in the families free of charge of those firefighters who have lost their lives. We put them into accommodations and transport them and everything. And then they're honored on that day. I don't know if you've been to I'm sure you have, when they're honored with the flag and the rose. And it's just a very moving service. And I think anybody that has the opportunity, come here for that, and you won't be disappointed, and you'll walk away with a sense of not only pride, but a privilege of being in this country, and of being associated with something. And the fire service is a family, Don, and we'd like to adopt you, but we haven't finished your background yet. So we'd like to get you in there. But when that clears, it is a way of life, and the fire families know this. I'll be looking forward to it as an annual event. And of course, it's sad to hear the names that are who've made that. And they could be career people, which usually means they're paid, or volunteers means they're only paid by their service, others. And it's quite a day, and we're looking forward to it. And the weather cooperates, we're in great shape.
Right. Well, it's terrific. I had the greatest honor of one of them is giving the welcoming on that weekend. The mayor has that opportunity, and it's a very special moment to see these families, and especially the hospitality. And it's an amazing facility over here, education facility. Again, it's all around the world. And is there anything else you'd like to tell
No, I
us?
just thank Don, and thank you, the town of Emmitsburg, of course, for the opportunity. Anytime that we can be of any service, don't hesitate. That's what we're here for.
These are crazy times, and if I get anybody from clergy here, you're the first person. But maybe give us a little blessing.
I would more than happy to. As we bow our heads, I ask the blessing upon not only the town of Emmitsburg, but all of its people. For as they serve others, God, I ask that you just strengthen them in their walk. I ask that you continue to bless them in their days. I know that there's problems out there. I know that there's situations where people hurt. But Father, just give them that peace of mind, the comfort of heart that they all deserve. Continue to bless this beautiful town, our nation, and of course the men and women who serve in uniform, whether they be our military or whether they be our emergency services. Continue to do that, Father, as we continue to serve others as you have served us. And we ask always in your name. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you. And again, that Fallen Firefighters Weekend is October 8th and 9th. The memorial service on Sunday starts at 10 a.m. on their campus, but you have to have some kind of clearance routine that go online, and you would depart by bus from Mount St. Mary's. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you,
Always
my
a
brother.
pleasure.
God bless you, Donnie.
Thank you very much.
care.
Take care.
I think the people of Emmitsburg are lucky. Is that what you wanted me to say?
Yes. Thank you. Very good. Have a day.